Okay, hi guys, Alexis Comer. I also have another company called Simply Branded, which is a digital marketing company. And my background is in digital marketing. I studied marketing in college, everything from website development to graphic design to blogging and social media, SEO, search, which is search engine optimization. We run Facebook ads, so pretty much everything in the digital marketing spectrum. So today we're gonna go over like basics of social media. I'm gonna teach you guys some hacks and tactics that I use. Everything that I teach you is going to be by hand so that you can understand it, but at the end we'll talk about some software that automates some of the pieces. So it's going to have a little bit more focus on Instagram, just because that's like where I have the most expertise, but you can use a lot of the same tactics for different socials. So let's just start with how to get followers. On Instagram, you go on, you follow someone, and if you follow enough people, you're going to get a certain amount that follow you back. And it's just a numbers game at this point. So you want to make sure you're targeting the right audience, and you do that by finding other accounts that are maybe a competitor to your business, or if you're trying to target people in a community, you can target like a community account that a lot of people will follow, like a golf course, for example. So you find these accounts, competitor accounts, or just other community accounts, and then you go and you can follow their followers. So that's one step. If you want to find even better followers, you follow people that have liked or commented on their photos, because that means they're engaging. So with social media, they keep releasing new algorithms, and it's all about engagement. So if you have 10,000 followers, but no one's liking your posts, it doesn't do anyone any good. You're not going to come up on the timeline. No one's going to see your stuff. You're not going to get new customers or get sales. So finding people that are already engaging is a step ahead of the game. So that's why I put a little star next to follow all the people liking and commenting. You can also just go to really large accounts like Nike, for example, or Target. And once again, I would follow people that have liked their most recent post, which is probably going to be like 3,000 people. So you can go in and follow about 200 a day. That's what I would say. If you're doing this every day, you're gonna see a lot of people follow you back just because they're interested in who you are. And if your Instagram looks good, then they're gonna follow you back because you have good content. So Instagram is all about visuals. It needs to look pretty, whether that's a pattern or just really strong photos, nice photography. Some people have Instagram Lightroom presets. Lightroom is an Adobe app, and they put every photo through it, and it pulls out like certain colors so that when you look at their Instagram, they all have the same like tone or shade. I don't do that, but that's something that a lot of the bloggers and stylish people do.
What was the name of that?
It's called Adobe Lightroom, and there's they're called presets. So they have a lot of free ones, and it really does make your Instagram look tight. Even if your pictures are not the best, it makes it look cohesive.
I'll drop it in Scalely Digital in Slack.
So I think that pretty much covers how to get new followers. Does anyone have any questions with that aspect? Yeah.
What are your thoughts on hashtagging and strategic usage of hashtags to get followers?
We'll get to that
Okay,
part,
cool.
But it's 100% important.
Okay,
So
awesome.
we'll get there.
When you follow some of these, I'd say followers of other accounts, competitor accounts, do you interact with them in any way before getting follow backs, or do you just kind of follow, or do you?
So the more interaction you do, the more likely you are to get them to follow you back. So it just takes more time, because it's really easy to go down a list and go follow. But if you go follow, profile, like, or comment, it just takes more time. But you'll get the best results. And there is a software called Growbot. It's on the list. It's an extension for Chrome. I think you have to pay for it, but we always just use the free trials and then just resubscribe.
Yeah. It can be a bit overwhelming.
Yeah, it's not the best user interface. It looks like, I don't know, like Reddit. I don't know, like just like a coder kind of made it. But what that does is you can go on an account. Let's say you find a competitor account, and you can say 1,000 people. Wait a minute between every. Follow 1,000 people, wait a minute between every follow, and like that person's 2 most recent posts. So that kind of tackles what you just asked. You can just automate it. The thing about these software is that the really good ones get shut down because Instagram doesn't want bots on there. So I found one that was amazing, and it got shut down within like 3 or 4 months. So unless you're consistently looking for new software, like I don't know the current best ones because they're changing all the time because the best ones will get shut down. So lately, instead of just bothering to like find one, get shut down, find a new one, I've just been doing it by hand, or hiring interns or getting free interns that can do it by hand. And that's the best way to do it too, because you're in complete control of everything that's going on with social media. Okay, yeah.
Does I get sort of LinkedIn and Instagram confused sometimes, but just in terms of like what message came from where, does Instagram have that sort of like auto reply, like, oh, you followed me, send you a message thing, or is that just LinkedIn?
So Instagram has that if you pay for a third-party service that does it.
Okay.
So it's not automatic.
But you could do it manually. That would just also take forever.
Yeah, if you wanted to do that, there may even be free ones. So he's asking when you on LinkedIn, when you befriend someone, it pops up in your messages, right? Like, oh, new friend. On Instagram, it doesn't do that, but you can pay to do that. So if you follow someone on Instagram, then you can automatically send a DM to them.
Okay.
I'm sure there's some apps that do for free now, but 100% like $5 a month, you can get that on like Crowdfire or something.
Okay.
But personally, I think those look so like bot-ish that I don't even read them ever.
Okay.
So if you'll notice, like, if you follow 100 people, you're probably going to get 10 DMs immediately because they've set it up so when they get a follow, they DM you, and you know that it's fake. So I'm not sure the success rate on that because it feels so fake to me unless you can make it really authentic and unless you can set it like wait 2 hours before they get the message. Then it looks more real.
Okay.
Alexis?
Yeah.
I have a question. Based on your experience and expertise, what is the conversion that you're looking at? So let's say, so it depends on your aim, right? But what is it that what conversion metrics are you looking at? Are you looking to build credibility and trust and an image? And then how, if at all, I mean, it does, right? Translate into traffic and then ultimately some deals. What are your thoughts?
So my experience has been really from building Instagram profiles from scratch. I've done it like 15 times. So I don't have really good metrics on the sales side. It's just been like building it from zero. And that's usually the hardest because when someone goes to a profile that has no followers, you don't want to follow it. So some metrics that I use at the bottom, I've outlined. If you follow 200 people and you get 20 follows back, I think that's really good. And that could be a daily goal. And if you're doing that every day, it's going to add up. But realistically, you're not going to do it every day. You're going to do it like a few times a week. And you also need to give people some time to follow you back because some people don't check the app every day. So in terms of site metrics, I do consistently update my blog on the Instagram. So whenever I post a new blog on the site, I'll make an Instagram post, or I do it for all socials. And you say link in bio, and that does drive traffic because people see it and then they want to go read more about it. So the more following you have, the more traffic you're going to get.
Thanks.
You can use it to like send promotions, talk about events that are going on, and link to get a ticket. So it does help because your audience is looking, especially even if you get 10 likes, you know that 10 people read that post, and then you can see if they went and clicked on the link also.
So you're doing your blog posts on the website or on LinkedIn or?
I do them all on the website because of SEO. So you know what that is?
Yeah. It's basically tracking all the words that you're using, and so people do a Google search,
right?
You'll pop up.
Yeah, and the most important thing about that is having content. So we just had this discussion today, how to break up putting content on the site versus on LinkedIn. And it's hard for me to want to put it on LinkedIn because it has no value for your site. But maybe what you could do is rewrite the blog on LinkedIn because you don't want to have duplicate content on the internet. If you have a duplicate content on your site, Google will ding you. So never copy and paste, and don't post the same thing twice.
What's the best blogging strategy? For example, like, I use Strikingly for, the landing page, and the website, but then the blog functionality is like weak, and then I don't know if I should use WordPress, and then it gets too much. What are your thoughts?
I'm going to have another bootcamp on that.
Oh, okay.
So, but I'll just briefly answer. WordPress is the best.
Okay.
Most people, I think, in here have a site, right? Like a launched website. So posting blogs on your site is the best thing to do. Strikingly is kind of more temporary, right? I mean, I see it as a temporary website builder until you launch a WordPress site. But if you want to start posting content, I would say get your WordPress site as soon as possible, because the longer you have the domain, the better it is for Google. Google kind of doesn't even register it unless it's been a year live. So if you're thinking about doing that, do it ASAP, even if it's just to get the domain up. Okay, back to social. So we discussed how to find new followers, the best strategies to get them. Now we're going to go into engagement, and this needs to be done on a daily basis. So it is easier with bots, but it is also something you can do, like when you go to the bathroom in the morning, just sit there, or when you're, when you have like 5 or 10 minutes, just go and do this and get in the habit of using this to fill in your time when you have 5-10 minutes wasted or you're waiting for something. So what you want to do is engage with the timeline that you currently have, because those are people that you're already connected with and you want to keep the relationship going. So go through your timeline and just like everything, and then comment on anything. Just engage with the people that are already following you. Then you want to engage with people that you want to follow you. So you're going to you're going to go to the hashtags that are relevant to your business or relevant to the local community, and you go to the hashtag. So let's say hashtag healthcare. Then you click on recent posts, not top posts. I don't know if I should write this
Could you explain the difference between?
So the top posts are going to be the top posts from the last year, the posts that have the most popularity. But when you click on recent posts, it's everyone's posts from this second and then chronologically backwards. But when you click on recent, you can scroll through them. When you click on top, you can't scroll. That's why you have to click on if you can imagine what I'm saying, like you have the timeline, top post, you can click on it and then you have to go back, click on the next one, go back. But recent, you can just scroll. So I'll just write that down. Find the hashtag healthcare to go to recent posts and then engage. So by engage, we're going to like and comment, and it's just up to you what you want to comment on. So don't comment on anything inappropriate. You're going to find like some random inappropriate photos, like naked girls or something. You might even end up liking it by accident, because if you're going really fast. So just be a little bit aware of that stuff. But I've definitely like seen on a business feed, like some naked girls, and we're like, how do we even follow this account? But you just unfollow them. But it's gonna pop up, especially if you're trying to hit the quantity. So I would say a good goal is 200 likes a day. You can hit them really fast. You don't have to get this number. You can do 50, you can do 20. But that's just a good goal to get, because it'll take you like less than 5 minutes to do that. And then I would say comment on 20 posts a day, and this is between your own feed and the hashtags. Another thing you're going to want to do is DM potential clients or potential customers. These have to be someone that you really find valuable, because you're going out of your way to message them. And I would create like 3 different templated messages, maybe one that's a promotional offer, one that just introduces you and describes your business, and then one that asks a question. So you can cycle through those 3 types, and maybe customize them a tiny bit every time you send it, so that it seems a little bit more personal. But once again, there's apps that can do this for you. So once you create the templates, you just schedule or go on the app, put them in, and say cycle through it for everyone. But I would recommend doing everything by hand so that you understand like the process. And then once you have it down, then you can start automating it. You don't want to jump into automation, because you want to have the understanding, kind of like math, where they teach you by hand and then you can use a calculator after you understand it. And always respond to incoming DMs as well. You're going to get a lot of bots that you can ignore, but if someone messages you, make sure you reply. Even if it's like, hey, do I know you? And then you can say, oh, I was just, I found you through a community app, or I found you through, if you remember where you found them from, I found you through this, you probably won't. You can just kind of have a generic response, like, I found you through one of the pages I follow. So just make it nice, but I definitely get that, because I follow a ton of people for clients that I have. Yeah.
Couple questions. The DMs, you said the templates, promotion, question, what was the third one?
Promotion, question, and intro.
Intro.
And that's not like a marketing best practice. That's just something that I made up.
Okay.
So I think that it's just a good variety to have.
And when it comes to profiles, like the account that you set up, does it make more sense to be personal? Do you want it to be your company's?
They should be separate.
I guess I say, like, is it Brandon Howard for Euphoria, or is it Brandon Howard the individual, or is it just Euphoria?
They should have two separate accounts. Euphoria, the business account, and then your account, and you can say founder of Euphoria and link it.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely want two accounts. The business one there's a setting on Instagram to make it a business account.
Mhm.
It connects with the business page on Facebook. You can run ads, all that stuff. So keep them separate, but you can have them intertwined. Like on Euphoria, it can say founder, and then it can link to your personal.
Okay.
But I keep them. I have accounts for every business I have. I have a personal Instagram and then a professional Instagram.
Okay.
I really separate it because I don't want to post personal photos publicly.
Yeah.
But I love posting personal photos, so I just keep them separate. Let me just write down the DMs. So this was for
Hashtag. Listen.
engaging, right? Engage.
Yep.
Engagement. And then we have DMs. And then we'll have a question, an intro, and an offer. Okay, now the fun part. So I wanted everyone to have a takeaway from this session. So you're all going to create your own custom hashtag strategy. And you'll have these hashtags to use for all of your social media. So now it's time to pull up Instagram, and I'm going to teach you how we dive into this. And we probably charge a client like $500 to do this. So,
Okay.
but you're going to do it for yourselves. Okay. So overview of hashtags. Every photo on Instagram can have up to 30 hashtags. After that, I think Instagram just doesn't count them anymore, or it doesn't let you post it. Hashtags are used for people to find new accounts, find things they're interested in, and now on Instagram you can even follow hashtags. So if you think about the timeline, you follow like all these accounts, and you can even follow hashtags. So every third or fourth photo will be hashtag healthcare this, hashtag healthcare this. So we want to use as almost all 30 hashtags because the more hashtags you have, the more publicity and exposure you'll get. But if your account is really large, let's say you have 10,000 followers and you get 10 comments on each photo, people that are commenting might use hashtags, and you want to give your audience opportunity to do that. So if you have a lot of engagement, I would say only use 25 hashtags so that you can let people also use them for you, if that makes sense. But I'm sure all of us in here don't have that problem, so we can use all 30. So I broke this down into 4 different types of hashtags. If we get 5 of each, we'll have 20, and that's fine. 20 is fine because you want to leave some to be customized for each post. So branded hashtags are going to be the ones that are about your company. So we'll do it for, who wants to be the volunteer company? Okay, Care Notes.
Care Notes.
All right. Actually, you can write on your paper.
Yes.
But hashtag Care Notes, right?
Yes.
Obviously. So everyone can write down their company name as their hashtag. Give me 3 words that describe your company.
Hashtag health technology.
Okay, so then maybe your other branded hashtag is Care Notes Tech.
Okay.
Hashtag Care Notes Tech. It could be for us, for example, XP Health. It could be hashtag XP Health App, or XP Health Ortho, or XP Health Way, XP Health Life. So you can create these custom hashtags. Maybe even if you're a local business, these are on the city.
Yeah.
So for Simply Branded, we have Simply Branded LA. We have Simply Branded Agency. So these are all going to have your business name in it, and you want to have some variety as well, because it just gives you more opportunities to build up this portfolio of hashtags. And if anyone has any trouble or questions, just.
So all the branded hashtags, do they all need to have your company's name in it, or What if you have like a trademarked term or something? Would you advise doing that or staying away?
Yeah, if you have a trademark term, that I would consider that a branded hashtag.
Just do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Hashtag.
So do we have one
What is the, is there a character length on them or do you just,
on the hashtags?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
okay.
I've never come across that.
You mean like
XP
full-on
care
sentence?
pathways, too long.
What?
XP care pathways, so long. Care pathways, XP.
Hashtag XP Health Rocks.
Ah, with the X.
Okay, so now we're going to go into the green box, which is industry relevant. And this is going to be general terms like healthcare, healthcare startup, value-based care. But I want you to find hashtags that are less than 5,000, that have less than 5,000 posts, because these are going to be the ones realistically that you're going to be able to rank for. If you type hashtag healthcare, you're not going to show up on anyone's feed because there's millions or thousands of posts. So this is where I want everyone to go into the app and you go to the search area and you type, let's do healthcare startup. Everyone type that in and click on tags for the sub menu. So we see healthcare startup only has 613 posts. So that's realistic for all of us. We could all add that to our industry relevant, but that would go under the industry relevant less than 1,000, which is the white box at the bottom. So we have less than 5,000 and less than 1,000. So if we take out startup and just write healthcare, there's 2.6 million posts. So we see that that's huge. So that can go in the blue box, which is main industry hashtags, because you still want to sprinkle in. You want to have a variety. So you want to have the ones you can possibly rank for, the general industry ones, just have a variety. So if we use all of these hashtags, you're going to have hashtags that have 0 to 10 posts, that have 1,000, that have 5,000, and that have millions or like hundreds of thousands. So it's good to have this variety because it looks more natural. So I'm going to teach you how to find, in the healthcare space, we probably won't have too much trouble because there's not that many posts about it on Instagram. But if we wanted to find a hashtag that had under 5,000 or 1,000 posts, you just add another letter to whatever term you're going to go for. So for example, healthcare, we're going to add I'm going to add a K. And then nothing for that one, cancel. Let's do healthcare T. Okay, so healthcare technology. So we're just trying to find other unique terms that will fit for us. So healthcare technology has 3,000 posts, so that would be under industry relevant, less than 5,000. So I want you guys to spend a little time doing it, more specifically for your company, so we don't all have the same worksheet.
Healthcare.
Alexis, I have a question. This could have already been asked, but does Instagram's algorithm treat hashtags that are put in the caption of the post different from if you comment them? Because I know some people put hashtags like right after the caption, and then some people put a separate comment with all their hashtags.
I don't think it matters.
Okay.
I personally like to put it in the first comment just so that it keeps the caption uncluttered.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
like when you're posting yourself,
yeah,
you can, and let's say you have 10 hashtags, you don't want it to stuff in the caption. So I just crop it out and put it in the first comment.
so you're commenting on your own post.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It's like you do the first comment.
Yeah.
There.
See it all anyway. So
Yeah.
just print some space.
And that way, when you get a second comment, it completely hides it. So it looks really clean. Okay, so everyone do this
post your
worksheet.
post and then copy paste your hashtags as a comment.
Yeah.
Cool. And then does the same hashtagging rule apply to LinkedIn? Like find a hashtag that doesn't have a lot of followers?
I'm not sure how to search that on LinkedIn. It's not the same because you don't really have a feed of hashtags on LinkedIn. Do you?
Yeah. My guess would be that they're taking a similar approach to the Instagram. But still, I think because it's still fairly new.
Yeah.
Not too sure.
Cool.
I don't think it shows you the volume on LinkedIn.
Right.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yes, I think it's gonna
Like
be a similar
value-based
approach.
care is like
Yeah.
132 people.
Perfect. Yes, I would.
Yeah.
I would do the same. So, but those are people that have added it to their feed, right?
Yeah.
Not the volume of posts.
Uh,
Yeah. So that's different, but still, you could kind of use a similar approach. of like finding hashtags that a lot of people are following, because then they're gonna get those things. Yeah.
But so like a lot of people following, but not a lot of posts, because
If you don't see I'm sorry, we're taking it away from Instagram.
Well, everyone's doing the workshop.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not too sure if they show you both how many people are following and the posts.
they just show you
If it's
people.
just the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I would go for just the maximum amount.
Okay. Cool. Makes sense.
Okay, while you guys are finishing that, just gonna quickly go over the posting best practices for each post that you do. You always wanna have a location, you always wanna use all the hashtags, and if you can, you wanna tag people. Pretty simple. Just do everything you can to get as many people to see it as possible.
How many posts per week? Per week.
It's however many you can crank out. For Instagram, I think 1 a day is plenty for our industry. We do like 2, 3 a week. Just space them out. Because you have to create the content, you have to create the graphic image, you have to create the caption. It's a lot of work.
Yes.
Okay, is everyone done? Can you guys just share 2 of the industry relevant ones under 1,000?
Healthcare trends.
Healthcare trends?
Something like that.
And,
Oh, I'm sorry, telehealthcare.
okay,
I did wellness technology and mindfulness technology.
Healthcare analytics.
one more?
For industry relevant, hospital readmission.
Okay. Leo?
I have none yet.
Okay. Alex?
I found healthcare tips.
Okay.
We're doing greater than 5,000, right?
Oh, if you want to pull from that one, that's fine. I was doing the 1,000 one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I found the healthcare tips.
And it's less than, not greater than. Did I write that wrong?
I always get that confused.
No, you got it.
Okay. India, did you do it?
No.
And then I got
I just started looking on Instagram. I got distracted.
healthcare startups with an S versus healthcare startup
Oh.
no S.
Okay. Did you do
613 versus 333.
I mean, those are both under 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is like another question, like, should we put an S or should we put both in that case?
I would put both.
Both, cool.
Yeah. You want to share?
I didn't bring my phone, so I can't check
Oh,
that. I'm just in the blind here, but I came up with a few, like sustainable healing.
Okay. Let's check them later.
Yeah.
Okay. So these are the 20 hashtags that you're going to put on every single post. And then you have 10 extra to customize based on the content. So you'll have all these, and then you can write, eat clean today, or happy Wednesday, or Medicare Monday. You'll do those custom for the day or the post. So the best way to store these, if you're not using any sort of scheduling app, just put it on a note in your phone and copy and paste it every time. But I recommend using a scheduling app called Later, which is it should be on the first worksheet, Useful Apps. It's the first one. It's a web and mobile app, but the web platform is really incredible. We use it for Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest, and that's just because it's the store that it supports. You pull up all your content, you drag it over, and then it schedules all 4 at the same time. So the first page, when you drag it over, you put in the caption, and then you click next, and then it breaks it down per platform because Twitter can only have 140 characters. Pinterest needs a website with it. Instagram, you add the location and tag people. And then Facebook, there's nothing special about that one. So you can have different size photos for the different platforms, like Twitter and Facebook is more of a rectangle, and then Instagram, Pinterest is more of a square. But it really doesn't matter that much. You can use a square for all of them. So if you want to just keep it simple, use a square. That's what we do for Simply Branded. I just use a square for all 4. Schedule it out. Later is free for the first 30 posts at a time. So you can schedule out 30 posts at a time, and you can only look backwards 2 weeks at previous posts, but it's free, so it's perfect. And then if you pay like $9 a month, then you can schedule out, 3 months at a time, and that you can look back as much as you want. Also about Later, for Instagram, it lets you preview preview what the Instagram will look like. So if you schedule out posts for a month, then go to the preview and look at Instagram, and you're like, oh, the pattern's messed up, you can just shift it around in the preview, and then it'll just edit it for the Instagram posting. Another thing about this, all 4 platforms are automated. So once you schedule it, they will post, and you don't have to touch the platform at all, which is amazing. I would recommend putting all of your hashtags as a saved caption in Later, so that every time you go to post, it's in there. You just click caption, boom, and you add it to the bottom of the post. If you wanted to, what I do after every automatic post, you get a notification on your phone. So I'll go in and I'll move the hashtags to the first comment, but you don't have to. At least they're in there. The only thing that Instagram does not automate is if you're posting multiple videos on Instagram. So you can schedule, you can do multiple photo posts. If you have multiple videos, you have to do that by hand, but it'll give you a notification. You open the app, it already pulls the content, you just post it. So it's really easy, and you can get to it whenever you'll have the notification on your phone. So Later is a really good app for scheduling. Definitely recommend it, and the free version's fine. Crowdfire is a good app for curating new content. We use this mainly just for Facebook and Twitter because our Instagram has a pattern, so we don't want to mess it up with random content. So it pulls a feed of whatever you set the parameters to be, like the industries and the location. It pulls a feed of all the current content that you can reshare. And this is just to keep posting stuff. So if we use it for Facebook and Twitter because I don't really care if the content's original on there. I just want to always have stuff going. You can add your hashtags, all that. We talked about Growbot a little bit. I'm not too familiar with it. We've used it here and there, but it's really about doing the research and finding the right automation tools. Right now, we're doing most of it by hand. If you only have one company, it's okay to just do it by hand, especially if you get like an intern or something. You also want to unfollow people that don't follow you back on a regular basis, maybe once a week or once every 3 or 4 days, because you don't want to follow 10,000 people and only have 1,000. So you can even unfollow people that do follow you back just so you have a better ratio. That's up to you, the ratio thing. It's just perception. It doesn't have any effect on Instagram. I think it's better to look like you're more popular, so you have a lot of people following you, but you only follow a few back. There's a lot of apps. There's a lot of unfollower apps that do that. I think the one that I'm using right now, I paid for, but it was maybe $1 for the year. But there's a lot of free ones, so you just go and find one you like. And then Smart Hash is another mobile app that helps you track Instagram hashtags. I actually haven't dove into using this one yet, but I think it would be really good for figuring out which ones are the most valuable and getting the most attention so that you can refine your hashtag strategy.
That was Smart Hash, right?
Yeah, and this is all on the cheat sheet.
Okay, I'm looking at the wrong. Okay, cool, thanks.
Back to your comment on content.
Mm-hmm.
So retweets are okay.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you can kind of do that with Instagram. Is that you don't do that on Instagram?
I personally don't because my Instagrams have the pattern, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
So all the content has to match the style and the pattern and be original. Twitter
For XP?
for XP, for Simply Branded, for my personal one. I just keep all that original. Twitter and Facebook, I'll reshare stuff. LinkedIn, reshare.
Okay.
Yeah, Twitter, it seems like I would think is one of the harder ones because it requires so much attention, and you can't just automate it. You have to go in and engage with people, and you can't automate things like commenting on a post that means something. You can automate comments that are awesome, or this sounds great, but people can tell they're bots. So I don't like Twitter. I like Instagram a lot better. Yeah.
Do you like Later a lot better than Buffer?
Yeah, because Later is owned by Instagram. So
I see.
originally they were the only one that could automate posts.
I see.
Now Instagram lets other ones automate it to auto publish, like without manually doing it. But later allows you also to schedule stories. So it just goes a lot more in depth with Instagram.
Okay.
Buffer I use for scheduling retweets. So Buffer is an extension for your Chrome. You're on Twitter, you see all these really good tweets, but if you retweet them all at the same time, it'll just, so you buffer them and then it'll do it at the best time. So you just add it to your queue, and you can set your queue to be like 5 a day, and then it'll just keep adding it for the next few days. So it's a combination of polling, and it could be like personal preference. So if you wanted to use Buffer for scheduling and you liked it, that's fine. I just like these the best. So I guess we can go into a little bit of content the last couple of minutes.
So I want to ask, have you done any, do you guys sell primarily to small businesses, medium, larger individuals? What's your strategic goal? Well, I guess Simply Branded is going to be different than XP. But say with XP, what's your goal with this? Is it just general awareness of the company, or do you really think it's going to help land accounts with medium size or huge companies are going to see it?
We use it more on a personal level. We try to target orthopedic surgeons and patients.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to accounts that are like Orthopedic Group of America or whatever it is, and engaging with the orthopedic surgeons.
Sure, that makes sense. Sure.
Because we want them to know about us, engage. And we've had patients reach out to us and comment on our posts, because this one girl was like, I've gone through how many knee surgeries? 3 in like 5 years. And then we ended up visiting her at her house in Santa Clarita. She's really into aromatherapy. She gave us an hour session on how that helped her get through her orthopedic recovery. So far I haven't translated to dollars, but we're also not launched yet, and we're just building relationships with XP. So we're using all the hashtags. We're going with hashtag knee surgery recovery, commenting hope your recovery goes well, just to build our relationship. And our page looks really pretty, so we usually get people to follow us back. I don't think I wrote this on here. Everyone needs to write this down. Canva. Who's heard of Canva? Okay, Canva. This is like Photoshop for beginners, and it makes it so easy to create any marketing material you want. This is like a designer secret. So I could make 20 Instagram posts in less than 5 minutes using Canva. I can make a flyer in literally 5 minutes. I can make a PowerPoint presentation in 15 minutes because it has pre-templated everything. So you go through, you look at all the social media templates, you kind of find 1 or 2 that you like, and then you change all the colors to make it match your business. This is like a hack. Do not share this with anyone. This is what people pay me to do. So you just create your template, and then you just duplicate the post and change the content. So we can go in and say, let's make 20 new social media posts. We have all the old ones we made, change out all the photos, and there you go. And they have stock photos. They have, they have everything in it. But if you want some free stock photo platforms, Pexels, you can just type free stock photos on the internet. Because I have a marketing company, I don't copy anything from Google. I make sure I get the free stock photos just to avoid any issues ever. But Canva's a lifesaver. It creates beautiful work really quickly, and you don't need design skills to do it. So check it out. I'm sure if any of you are a little bit like me, you're gonna go on and spend hours just messing around, creating chore lists for your kids on there. This fun stuff. They have, I made these on Canva last night in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So
it's Photoshop for idiots like me.
Yeah.
So it's
made,
perfect. If you've never Photoshopped or done anything, just log on to it. It's amazing.
We made the first original 3 year ago Scala lay deck on Canva.
Yeah.
That got us to here.
Okay, so just wrapping up everything. We want to create content on Canva because it's so easy. They already have preset ones for Instagram or LinkedIn or Twitter. You can make your LinkedIn banner, your Facebook banner, your Twitter banner. They have everything pre-sized. Once you upload your own logos, you'll have it in your own Canva, so you can drag it on anything you make. So go to Canva, use it to make all of your social media cohesive. You want to make sure you have the same banner on every platform, the same name, the same username. So if it's XP Health, or for example, Simply Branded was taken on Twitter, so we had to think of another one that was available on all the platforms. So we picked Simply Branded LA because cohesiveness is important, especially and even for SEO for your website. You want to make sure your little tagline that's less than like 10 words is the same on all of them also. So just having like brand cohesiveness so that if someone went to the Twitter or the Facebook or the Instagram, they know it's you. People have different photos in all of them, different logos, just make it cohesive. Next, content. Use Canva to make your content. Unless you have like graphic designers or you want to do something crazy on Photoshop, just do it on Canva. It's so easy. Schedule it out. I would say try to do 2 to 3 posts a week. If you really sat down, I think you could knock it all out in like 2 to 3 hours for the month. So sit down, make the posts, go to later, upload them, write all the content, schedule it. I think you can knock it out in 2 to 3 hours, maybe longer.
And so if like you post something on Instagram, should you not have that also post on Facebook, or should everything be different on every?
I think it should all be the same. Like, so if you're posting, especially for like an announcement, make sure that it goes out on the same day. I post all of it at the exact same time on all 4.
Sure. Okay.
So that it just reaches everyone at the same time. And in terms of the sizing, like if you want different content for different, that's up to you. It just takes longer to do. So for XP, we do it, but we don't need to. You can just use the same post for all 4.
Well, when does Google ding you and when don't they ding you?
They ding you for, this is separate from social media.
Okay.
That's for written content on the website, like blogs, articles, website pages. So social media doesn't matter.
Got it.
The only part that does matter is having those like links to your site. That matters.
Sure.
But
juice.
if you're having duplicate content, like if we took that philosophy of you don't want duplicate content because Google dings you, having duplicate content on Facebook and Instagram will ding Facebook and Instagram, not your site. So
right.
It doesn't really matter. So some people think that social media does affect your SEO on your site, but just because of the links that are going, because Facebook is technically a website with an app. So the links do count. But you don't have to worry about the content part for social. So yeah, posting 2 or 3 times a week, trying to engage ideally every day, but as much as you can, getting into the habit of doing it in the spare time.
In Ubers.
In Ubers, yeah.
More kosher.
Safer.
Stories are super popular now. So you want to try to add stories also. And the permanent ones, highlights that stay on your profile. We use Canva to make our little highlight covers and just start to add content. So you can do a little video of yourself giving a tip. You can take a picture of marketing materials, whatever event you're at, just scan the room, post it on your story, and then add it to your highlight. Consistent engagement, consistent content, and hire an intern to handle it for you.
Which is what.
Great.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that covers social media in a nutshell.
Thank you.
Thank you.